Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
And I'm Jim Fuller, and I'm always just glad to be here.
Very much so, and our cohort, Peggy Burton, is out today.
Yes.
And I bet she's trying to make sure she gets her vote in.
It is election day today. If you're watching this, as we're just now coming on, let me see. They got 30 minutes.
30 minutes
to get to the polls.
And
today.
if they hadn't already done it and they're watching us, they probably can't get there.
People are probably not going to jump up because we said if you got 30 minutes to go.
I don't think so.
I think probably this election people are kind of weary of this whole process and ready for it to be over.
They are. I think they are too. But the numbers, we were talking about the other day, is probably almost 60% more than normally vote, something like that.
I'm sure it is.
Huge.
I think in Coffee County there were 38% of the registered voters have already voted early going in today. That's a good number, and usually about that many vote on election day. So if it gets up in the 60%, high 50s, that's a big turnout for this county.
Well, and the process is a great process. It's something that living in a free country you get to do. And
right.
Please, I hope all of you have exercised your right. Probably the most divisive election that we've ever seen.
Without a doubt. Even last night, you were still seeing that rhetoric, combative rhetoric in some of the speeches and that were going on.
He said, she said.
Yeah.
He did, she did.
Back in the old days, it was like you'd attack your opponents for a while and you'd talk about how bad things were. But a week before Election Day, you'd start giving them that warm and fuzzy feeling about how good things are and try to heal those wounds. That really hadn't happened this time. So
and the thing about it is we really hadn't heard that much about what either one of them, how they're going to fix what needs fixing. They're too busy picking on one another, and everybody's tired of it. I saw something on one of the television channels the other day where people just say, "I quit listening 60 days ago," and people who've had their mind made up, who are straight down party lines and what they've quit listening.
And actually, if you took advantage of the early voting on the first couple of days, you might as well tune out because there's not anything you can do.
No, you've already done your deal.
That's right.
So
that's over.
But it no matter what happens, there's going to be a whole lot of people upset.
They will be, and we can only hope that everybody kind of gets over it and we don't have any serious issues relative to that.
Right, because
one of the candidates has said that the system is rigged, and the voting process is rigged. So,
Well, I heard Tom Brokaw this morning on the Today Show, and I kind of respect that guy because he's been around a long time.
Oh yeah.
And he said one of the things that has to be done is our election process has to be fixed. It is archaic.
Yeah.
There's no way that people should be voting with paper ballots in one state and hanging chads in another one and electronically somewhere else.
You're right.
But it's so diverse. It's so diverse that there's no way that you can keep up with it. And it's not a good deal. As technologically advanced as everything is now, there ought to be a better way.
Well, I don't think we're going to have any hanging chads because I think Florida, changed all that. But I believe I heard that right. So
probably so.
But you're right. The states and Congress as well are reluctant to spend money on them, making the process better. So
but something needs to be done. And I respect Tom Brokaw. He's one of those people that I look at and still think of as a true news gatherer and a person who basically kind of speaks the truth. I respect him for the years of work that he's done back when the news was still the news and not someone else's rhetoric run through the mouth of a news guy.
Yeah.
which is the way a lot of it is now.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because now there's a lot of hype, and by hype I mean, can you imagine how much money some of these networks probably made off this entire process?
Lord of mercy! And how much is getting filtered in from the top?
Of course, now, I can't be critical of that, because for local elections we do election coverage as well, and a lot of there's been a couple of times when I've looked at those early vote totals and thought in my mind, as we're coming on the air live, well, that race is over,
right?
Based on that. But I didn't say that because we we kind of needed that show to have some interest for the next hour.
Sure. And,
however, I'm not sure it's my place to say that anyway.
But we had those stuff. But they're saying that they're not going to call. Nobody's going to call anything till 10 o'clock tonight, basically, because they have thought now it's affecting the vote in California.
It could
on the West Coast.
Well could. However, if you've been following the projections, you sort of know if certain states go a certain way that it's over.
And that depends on who's putting the projections together as well. So all of that's put. Well, we got to go. Julia's telling us we need to go. We have a show packed full of great stuff today. So if you're tired of the political stuff, you won't have to listen about it anymore.
Don't talk about it anymore.
We're done. We'll be back after these quick commercial breaks.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell, who's here to talk to us about some police matters and keep us informed about stuff. Before we get started, though, I want to ask you one quick question. There is suggestions throughout the country that maybe tomorrow or after the polls close, there might be some people upset and there'll be riots and issues like that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we probably don't expect that to happen in our community.
We don't expect that to happen, right. No. And I have gotten some of those same reports and cautions from other, the agencies. Uh-huh. But again, as I said many times, we live in a great community, and I would not expect to have any issues as a result of the election.
Yeah, nor would I. Now that we got that out of the way, we can move along. It just hit me when you came up here, though. I had to ask that. So anyway, so rest assured, we don't think that's going to be a problem.
We don't think so, and it's like anything. We know that any kind of circumstance or situation can arise at any point. So we would have to be prepared to react to that either way, but we're not making any direct plans that we're going to have any issues as a result of the election.
Well, it just now also occurred to me that what happens if somebody had a problem at one of the polls, somebody trying to vote, and they'd probably call the police. I mean,
probably would, because we're oftentimes the mediators on a lot of things. That
exactly.
We would kind of take the stance of, if they're disturbing the peace, we're going to take action. If it's just a voter issue and the election commission there, if we're going to rely on them to say what is proper, what's not, and if the person has to be removed from the polls, then we'll remove them because the people that are in charge are asking us to do it, not because we, the police, are coming in and doing it arbitrarily. Right. That's the one thing we want to always be careful of, is the police are not making the arbitrary decision, that it's someone else who is in charge of that venue that's asking us to assist them.
Paul, I'm pretty impressed because you've obviously thought about that before. That's obviously crossed your mind.
Well, and it happens a lot of times where people want the police to just come in and take care of the issue, and we have to explain to them, well, maybe it's private property or the nature of the event, that someone else has to be asking us to do this, because we don't want to be looked at as just coming in and messing up maybe a good thing that's going on.
Sure.
So we want to remain cognizant of that we're here to help the people that have that particular venue.
Okay. What else has been going on with you guys? Well,
a lot's going on. As you said, this is a time of year where everything is starting to happen. A good thing that occurred about a week ago, we had a Battle of the Badges at the Blood Assurance here in Tullahoma between the fire department and the police department on a Saturday morning, encouraging people to come in and donate blood and to designate, did you want to be listed as a police supporter or a fire supporter? So in the end, the fire department won, but I took it with a great deal of humility that we got beat. That's okay, because really the community won, because they had collected about 53 pints of blood, which is about 3 times their daily intake of blood. So out of those 53 pints, that equates to about 159 people that would benefit from that blood.
Was this a fair deal, though? I mean,
no.
Aren't there more fire people that work for the fire department?
As I said, we did not win, so I accept that outcome. Election day, I accept the outcome. We lost. But also raised the bar that next year, it'll be a different day. But the people who won were the people, because all of the blood that's donated stays in this area. It's not sent elsewhere. So all the blood that was donated would be used around here at our local medical facilities. Good event. Had a lot of people, as I said, 53 pints, and that was about 3 times what they take in on any given day. Of course, we had Halloween, and I have to give a shout out to this community. Good job. We didn't have any incidents. We didn't have any reportable incidents that were attributed to Halloween. So everybody I spoke to, the officers and everything, Halloween went off without any issues. So good job.
That's always good to get that behind you.
It's always good. The weather was good. Everything worked in our favor for people to get out and to enjoy the evening. Of course, we have our Veterans Day coming up, and I know you're going to have some people talk about that. School will start.
That's going to be Friday, just in case we don't.
Right.
At 11 o'clock is.
11 o'clock.
Okay.
But I know at South Jackson.
Okay.
But I know you've got some folks that are going to talk about that, so I don't want to get into.
Chief got here before I did this morning, so he probably actually knows more about what's going to happen in the show than I do. So.
We'll leave it for someone else to share.
All right.
And then, of course, Thanksgiving's only a couple weeks away, and that kind of signals the beginning of the holiday season.
Right.
So one of the topics we'll be talking about, as we do each year, is holiday safety tips, shopping and the packages and all of that. So we'll talk about that in the next couple weeks. And then, of course, Christmas coming along. So for the police department, we'll start ramping up some of our activities and a little more police presence. Today at the polls, at the election, our officers will be patrolling it, just as we would any event.
Right.
So if you see policemen around the polling place, it's not for any special reason other than anytime we have mass gatherings or special events, we want to pay special attention to it and let the people feel comfortable that the police are out and are in the area. So they'll be seeing that. So this is about the time of year where we have to start using some of our overtime, getting officers to come in to do special details. And it's all to ensure the safety and the comfort of the community. So it's a busy time, but it's also a very rewarding time for us.
You know, when you come back in 2 weeks, we're going to be right upon Thanksgiving.
We will be.
I just wonder, do you have more family disagreements, domestic violence, those kind of things around those
yeah, I'd like to say no, but that's not really the right answer. We do see our domestics increase because during the holidays, everybody is together. And of course, at some of these events, there's alcohol and maybe family squabbles can get magnified because they're together for long periods of time.
In other words, the disagreements you might have with a family member becomes greatly enhanced once the alcohol is
alcohol, and then they all get together, and it starts to. So we do see some of our domestics go up simply because people are together more than they. Yeah. During a given day, a work day, maybe one party goes to work. They may be on different work schedules or something that keeps them apart. But then the holidays, everybody there. And as we know, the stress level goes up because a lot of those other factors that are involved, the spending of money, the just everything that goes with the holidays.
Right. Okay.
I would like to say the holiday spirit, but that's not. But we do see we have a few more domestics, and we'd like to be giving and caring and say happy holidays, but we still have a job to do, and that may sometimes mean enforcing the law.
Do you have to have more people on duty during the holidays?
We generally don't. We usually, if we can, even use fewer people because we know our officers have families and they want to spend it with them. So if we can reduce our staffing, we'll do it. But we also understand we have a responsibility. So, so we do things a little bit different during the holidays so our officers can spend some time with their family as well.
Yeah. This is a new bicycle patrol that you've got out there. Do they still operate in the wintertime? Or?
They will be out in the wintertime.
They will.
We'll of course make decisions based on the road conditions. But yeah, they can still be effective even in cold weather. We'll just be cognizant if it's snowing or raining or icy. We don't want to get anybody hurt, but they'll still be out and about. Perfect time is, say, during Christmas or the shopping holidays at the malls.
Right.
They could move through the mall very easily. Not just the mall, but any of our shopping centers on those bikes. They can move pretty easily.
Okay.
So you'll see them out there.
All right. Paul, I told Paul before we started, they cut us down to exactly.
I know, we're down to zero, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me,
Paul. Always great information.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us now from the Tullahoma Animal Shelter as we feature our pet of the week, Teresa Holt and Jason...
Jacob Swick.
Jacob Swick.
Swick. Kind of like quick, but Swick.
Yeah, okay, Swick. Okay, I'm going to do better because I should know that. Every time I've interviewed him, probably this is the third time over the last 2 weeks, so I should know that. Bark in the Park just completed. How did that go for you guys?
Awesome. We have so many wonderful supporters in this community, and we raised over $11,000.
Oh, goodness.
Part of that was a match. We had an anonymous couple who wanted to match up to $5,000, and we matched $3,900. So we still have that $1,100 match out there that we're looking for. Expenses were just a little over $2,000, so we netted quite a bit for medical care for the dogs in our community.
Right. And this is, I know we've talked about this a couple of times, but this is super important to you guys because you use the money for it.
Yes. For like this little guy here, when we picked him up about a month ago, he didn't look well, so we were able to take him to Dr. Winley's, and he's been vaccinated and all better and ready for adoption.
Yeah, okay.
And without those funds, we're not able to do that. Right. So this is truly a life save.
And I think you told me during the course of the year the medical expenses for the pets in the animal shelter run about what?
Between $17,000 and $20,000 a year.
Yeah, okay. Yes, and that's what that event, Bark in the Park,
yes,
that money is used for, so that's hugely important.
Yeah, and 100%, and there's not many charities who can say that.
Right.
But 100% goes back to these animals in some way.
Right, okay. Now, what about this little fella here?
His name's Lyle.
Lyle?
He's about 4 months old, and he's a Beagle mix.
Yeah, okay.
He's got lots of energy.
Yeah, I can tell. 4 months old, so you've had him for a month, so the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is home to him for sure now, isn't it? Yeah.
Very playful. He would love some children of his own.
Yeah, I bet.
And he's up to date on his vaccinations.
Yeah.
And with a $35 adoption fee, he'll get a free neuter.
Yeah.
Whether he wants it or not.
Whether he wants it or not. That's a great way to put that. He probably doesn't, but he doesn't get a say in this matter. And you have all the dogs at the animal shelter neutered, or is that a fair
Yes,
thing?
every dog adopted with a $35 adoption fee gets a free spay or neuter at the Spay and Neuter Clinic in Shelbyville.
Uh-huh.
And during the course of Bark in the Park, another wonderful side effect was that in 1 week we adopted about 13 dogs.
Oh, great. That's
in
great.
just 1 week. So our numbers are finally working down. We only have about 20-something left to choose from. Maybe about 24. You can view those online, www.tullahoma.petfinder.com. Visit the shelter at 942 Maplewood Avenue, or just give us a call. 931-454-9580.
20-something, that's, you guys are probably really happy if that's all you got there.
Yes, we're just ecstatic. And all of the adoptions worked out except one, and that wasn't due to the dog's fault, so that was good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you adopt, your fear is they're going to come back. So
also, you accept returns?
Always. Anytime a dog is adopted from our shelter, just so you know, if you adopt a dog and it does not work out and it's not a perfect fit for your family, we're going to take that dog back. He always has a forever home to come back to.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 3 years down the road. They have a place to call home. And we're going to work with you and find that perfect dog that fits in with your family and your lifestyle.
Right. And I bet by now you guys are pretty knowledgeable about how that works.
Yeah, we try.
What you think someone would need.
Yes, and we have two fine officers, Jacob Swick and Sam Sales, who works for us, and a wonderful shelter attendant, Alicia. Alicia Davis, and she knows almost every characteristic about all the dogs down there. Those are her babies, and you can go down there and visit Alicia Monday through Fridays, 8 to 2:30, and she's going to be able to tell you probably more than you want to know.
I get the impression that they kind of like you, Jacob, these dogs do. Because every time he brings one in here, they seem like they're kind of attached to it, you know.
Yes.
I know last time you guys were here, we were talking something about the little dog that you had here that day, and all of a sudden, you remember, you noticed it. I didn't notice it till I saw it on tape, but he kissed Jason, or Jacob, just as we were talking about that, so, as if on cue. So I think it endeared him to a lot of people. I hope he got adopted. Did he? Yes. Super. That's absolutely super. Okay, 20-something dogs down there. Your capacity is at, what, 80 or 90?
Well, we're comfortable around 30, 40 dogs. Right. When you start going over that number, you're really, really packing them in there. So we try to make additional space.
Right.
But we're very, very comfortable right now in the lower 20s.
Do you think your website and those other things that you guys do helps with this adoption process?
Yes, social media definitely helps. I had a rescue pull 2 mothers who each had 9 puppies just over a week ago.
Oh, my goodness.
They came down yesterday and took those mamas and those babies to a safer place, and they'll get them adopted. So that helped us out tremendously. And they'll be put in foster homes once they're weaned, and possibly going up north to get good homes.
Right. All right. Guys, thank you so much for coming by today.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
You guys are doing a wonderful job down there, I got to tell you.
And you as well.
Thank you. We'll be right back right after this.
The Animal Shelter has served Tullahoma dogs for nearly 30 years. Now, you can help us build a bigger and better no-kill shelter. Your tax-deductible gift is matched dollar for dollar. So come on, bark it forward and donate now to have your tax-deductible gift matched. Make your check payable to the COT Shelter Building Fund and go to tullahomatn.gov to see all the unique gifts available for your generosity. For more details, you can call City Hall at 455-2648.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh, gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse.
You need a claim number?
Her personal assistant.
Let me just grab a...
Her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and this week holds a day, and it's 11/11. It's Veterans Day. That's this coming Friday, and something near and dear to my heart. And the city of Tullahoma does a wonderful job every year of having a Veterans Day program. And today, the governmental coordinator, my friend and superstar, I say he's a superstar. He doesn't like that very much, but he's a rising star because he does so many things and accomplishes so many good things for the citizens in the city of Tullahoma. Winston Brooks is here with a businessman who has been in this town for as long as I can remember, just about, Howard Thompson, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Veterans Day celebration. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having us down here. It's great to be here. So as you mentioned, this Friday, November 11th at 10:45 a.m., we're inviting the community to come out to South Jackson Civic Center for another Veterans Day ceremony. And just want to thank all the volunteers who've helped us put this program together. We've got a great program for you, a lot of great music. The DHS Aristocats, the Brass Ensemble, Lloyd Smith, who does an incredible patriotic medley.
Yeah,
if you haven't
he does.
Seen or heard that, that's worth coming out for. And then we have some other special music. And in fact, we have John Gray is going to perform a song
Really?
for us.
Where'd y'all find that guy?
I don't know, but so later on you need to talk about that, if you don't mind, and tell us a little more about that song. And then we have a very special keynote speaker.
And he's with us.
Thompson. Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You were involved in what theater and era of battle for the United States of America?
Vietnam, 1967 through 1968. That included the Tet Offensive.
And you were a first lieutenant.
First lieutenant. Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that it's so different now today than, as we were discussing earlier, than it was then. Maybe because of 9/11, but the feeling of the population and the citizens of the United States for our military now is one of respect and pride, whereas in those days it was 180 degrees from that.
Yeah. When I came back to the States, nobody appreciated me. I've had numerous veterans tell me that they couldn't even go to the American Legion or the VFW. They weren't welcome. And I think that one reason the veterans are treated better today is because there were about 2 million of us that said nobody's going to treat a veteran like that anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So that's, and you know, it's happened, and we've made that happen, and 9/11, I think, had a lot to do with, I mean, we have Chief Blackwell's here and Chief Chastain, and I think we have a whole new feeling as citizens about our first responders and the military and the people who protect us in our homes and protect our borders, and I think they're respected and cared for more now than they were, or than they probably ever have been.
Absolutely. Yep.
And so what are some of the other things that you're going to talk about in your speech? You have a couple of key things that you're going to punch home.
Well, one thing, right now we're speaking English.
Right.
We don't think about that. That's the relevance of Veterans Day.
Yes.
World War II. We're
Yes.
speaking English.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
And have the free choice to do that.
I was born in World War II. I obviously didn't participate. My war was Vietnam. So I want to talk a little bit about Vietnam. I think there were a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of myths. I'd like to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Then we've got some. I went to high school with a very special person. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
That might surprise some people.
Good. Well, I know I've known you for quite some time, and I know how professional of an individual you are in your business life, and I know you were the same way in your service life, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say, because I've always looked forward to hearing what you have to say. Howard's one of those guys that when he's talking, you pay attention, because he doesn't just, he's not like me. He doesn't spout off stuff just to be spouting. He spouts off stuff that makes a difference.
It's a wonderful privilege and an honor to speak to veterans.
Yes, it
very,
is.
Very special. I'm out of my league doing that, out of my comfort zone, but it's something I really feel strong about, and I really want to do it.
Well, and we still, no matter how we feel, we were talking about it earlier, and I know this is a point that you want to hit as well. No matter how we, the people, feel about our veterans, I personally don't think our government puts the resources behind the veterans and the care for veterans that they should.
That's going to be part of the speech too. I think you've read my speech.
Well, a lot of us Vietnam guys sort of feel the same way, you know. So that's part of that. Winston, who else is involved?
Well, so it's always a great honor. It's the greatest honor I've got in the year putting on this event. And as I mentioned, we've got a lot of great volunteers that help us do it. But Chief Blackwell, we've got Major General Alan Harris, we've got Godfrey Matthews, and the list just goes on and on. We've got our Reverend this year, our pastor is going to be Marty Nutter, who is an Air Force veteran.
And a chaplain.
And a chaplain, police chaplain as well. and so we also are going to have a new face. Unfortunately, Max Lamont, who's always done the ringing of the bell for the fallen on the bell from the USS Tullahoma, will not join us. He'll hopefully be in the crowd, but we're going to have Major General Alan Harris is going to perform the ringing of the bell for the fallen. So that's fantastic. And we have John Gray, who's going to do a special song. What's the name of the song?
Faithful Soldier.
Faithful Soldier. And that's an old one, right?
Yes, it's an old song. It's an Appalachian type song. It's done a cappella. And when I was a young man and everybody was listening to the Beatles and Elvis, I was listening to a blind guitar player by the name of Doc Watson from North Carolina, and playing that old Appalachian type music. And it's a song that he did, and it reminded me of something that my grandfather did. As they, in some of the poor Southern Baptist churches, they didn't have enough money to buy instruments, and a lot of the singing was done a cappella. And that's why that song has interested me throughout the years. And it makes reverence to the soldier, and it makes reverence to our faith. And we can't survive, any of us, without both. And so I thought it fitting. I was honored to be asked to do it.
Yes, and we're really grateful for you doing it too. Now, I didn't know that was going to be a cappella. That'll be very moving. What year do you think that song came out? I mean,
it was probably done pre-1900, but Doc Watson had it on an album, Sugar Hill, in the late 50s.
And looking at the history of Veterans Day while I was preparing for the ceremony, it was started in 1918 after World War I. But then in 1954 is when Congress changed it to honor all veterans, because after they'd gone through World War II and had several other wars under their belt, they felt like they needed to honor all the veterans and not just focus on World War I.
That's right.
So that's very fitting, and it kind of will go back to the roots of Veterans Day and Armistice Day.
There you go. That's going to be Friday, the 11th. It's at 10:45.
Yes.
At South Jackson Civic Center. There will be a program, then there will be some light refreshments after that. Howard, thanks for being with us, thank you for your service, sir. And Winston, it's always a pleasure, my friend.
You bet.
All right.
See you soon.
Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community, because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
And I'm Pat Welch, and we're here today for the segment 32 of Conversations with John and Pat.
It's not new.
It's 32. That's right.
Well, this song is one that was sung back in the 50s. I think Sonny. can't remember his last name, but he sang this song, and it became a hit in the 50s, and it was called Running Bear. And it's about a brave and his Indian maid falling in love, and it was such a hit that it was popular for anyone who was trying to sing the song or want to sing the song. And also, I remember it so well because my Uncle Nub and Buddy Johns, they were livestock traders in Chapel Hill, and on the running board really was the bumper of the truck. They had it Running Bear on this double-decker pig truck. They would buy up little litter of pigs out in the counties around Chapel Hill, and then they would bring them into their feed lot, feed them up to a certain size, load them up, and take them to Indiana. Take all these. So Uncle Buddy, he was on the road all the time, back and forth in the truck Running Bear, back and forth. And then Nub, he was buying up pigs all around the counties. But anyway, this song.
I want to make sure I've got everything right now. Nub Johns is your mother's brother, is
and
that correct?
Buddy also.
Okay.
Buddy, by the way, graduated the same year George Orr graduated from Chapel Hill. They were sort of running buddies. This is Running Bear.
Yeah.
On the banks of the river stood Running Bear, young and brave, and on the other side of the river stood this lovely Indian maid, Little White Dove was her name, such a lovely sight to see. But their tribes fought with each other, so their love could never be. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love big as the sky. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love that wouldn't die. He couldn't swim the raging river, 'cause the river was too wide. He couldn't get to Little White Dove standing on the other side. In the moonlight, he could see her throwing kisses across the wave. Her little heart was beating faster, waiting for her Indian brave. Running Bear dove in the water, Little White Dove, she did the same, and they swam out to each other. Through the swirling stream they came, as their hands touched and their lips met, the raging river pulled them down. Now they'll always be together in that happy hunting ground. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love big as the sky. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love that wouldn't die, with a love that wouldn't die.
Wow.
Hot dog.
I've heard that song several times. John, don't know if it ever been done as well. But I don't know that I've ever paid attention to
Sonny
the lyrics.
James. Sonny James was the singer, with the entertainer that did that song.
Back late 50s and early 60s, most young love was tragic. A lot of automobile accidents and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Teen Angel and all those songs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I didn't realize that we had one on the Indians, too.
Nub and Buddy.
Yeah.
They were. Now, Norman Cecil Johns was his name, but I don't know how he got that name, Nub. And I don't know how Buddy got his name.
Somehow you got different roles in families, that's for sure, because your mother's prim and proper and honorable as lady as she is. The stories of Nub and Buddy
she kept
are direct contrast.
That's right, exactly.
All right. Not sure how we're going to do this or what the segue would be, but
we never know. But it sort of works, pieces itself
somehow
together.
It all comes together.
We might leave out important parts from time to time, but
well, Running Bear was a great part of Indian lore and great part of Tullahoma football lore. It was a man named Frank Mullins.
Yes.
So we'll talk about Frank today. The youth league is named after him. He was really involved in Little League baseball and youth sports when he was older. But he was a great tailback and single wing tailback where the ball was centered mostly to the tailback, and you had to have a great athlete there to make that offense go. And single wing, of course, what General Neyland ran at UT. But he would have played for Mr. McClure, who we talked about last week, that became principal at the high school. And by the time they were seniors, their senior year, their record was 9-0-1. I believe Lewisburg tied them. And he was a small guy. I really believe at the start of the year, a guy named Jack Haywood was supposed to be the tailback, and he got hurt. And Frank came in, and I don't believe anybody had any idea, as quick as he was, that he was going to be that good. He really was a great player. Dr. Snoddy told me one time that he had some pretty good sickness, and came to him on Friday morning. They checked him out of school, and he got him some medicine, and somebody said, well, can he play tonight? And he said, well, he could play, but he said he's not going to be very good. I said, that wouldn't be my advice, and not going to hurt him medically, but he's probably, like I say, he's not going to, couldn't do too well as sick as he is right now. And Frank went ahead and played and gained about 200 yards. And Dr. Snoddy said he never was going to limit anybody's amount of success they could have again. Frank had. Let's see that picture. There it is. That's Mr. McClure that we talked about last week on the right, Coach McClure, which I think was his 5th season at the high school. Frank is number 46 in the middle, and 58 was Bobby Jack Daniel, who's still alive in Tullahoma. And there were 4 or 5 of those players on that season that ended up playing at Swanee for Coach Shirley Majors, and Frank was one of them, and Bobby Jack was one of them. But that's right there is a picture of 3 important figures of that 55 team, and
Frank had
really
has a son named Mark, who played on a successful team here in Tullahoma.
Played in the late 70s, and they got football had been a little bit on hard times, and they've really had a fine team, and Mark was an integral part of that. He had 2 daughters, Lisa and Stacy.
And Glenda was the wife, and she passed away sometime after Frank
Frank died prematurely.
Frank had some heart problems, issues that was finally his demise.
I'll tell you one great story on him if P-Hit doesn't run us off for going a little bit over on this one. When Mark was playing, Frank was down at the field house one day, and somebody was out for a Charlie horse, which is a bruise in your quad muscle on your thigh. And they'd had a run of those, I think, and Frank couldn't understand it, and he told Dan Bland, who was the head coach at the time and a real successful coach at the high school, he said, I don't understand about these Charlie horses. I never had a Charlie horse, and nobody and I never knew. We didn't have anybody have a Charlie horse. And Coach Bland said, well, do you understand you have to have a quad muscle before you can have a Charlie horse? And Frank, of course, was small. He probably wouldn't have a very big quad, but they said he hung his head, and that was the end of the discussion. Charlie horse was a time after we started lifting weights and got your legs built up a little bit more, maybe.
Well, thank you, Pat, for sharing that. And it was good talking about Frank Mullins.
He was a very, very important and recognized person.
The Mullins Football League has been going on, and when you think about the name, it always goes back to him.
That's right. And so that will be the end of Conversation with John Pat, segment 32, but it's not the end of the conversations. We hope that P-Head will let us come back one more time.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I really have an interesting segment coming up here. It's going to be interesting for me, as I'm sure it will be for you, because I have not met these young ladies, and they just now told me what their topic was. So I'm gonna start over here and let you tell us your name.
I'm Mary Kay Counts, and I'm here from Tullahoma.
Okay.
I'm Terry Milam, and I'm on the board of the Tullahoma Daycare Center.
Okay.
I'm Emma Coleman, and I'm the director of Tullahoma Daycare.
Okay, all right. Now, let's talk a little bit about the event that you got coming up.
Right. The event is December the 4th, the first Sunday in December, and it's our annual tour of homes. And Miss Mary Kay is graciously offering her home to be one of our homes that can be visited, and she can tell us a little bit about her house that we'll be lucky to get to come see.
Well, we built in 2000. We lived in Manchester, and we come to Tullahoma in 2000, and I started collecting Hallmark Light and Motions from a lady that I used to work with at People's Bank, Miss Jessie Jo Elam, and so it just kind of started from there. And then my husband's mom, she puts up a tree in every room, so I kind of got addicted. So we've got like a little bit over 20 trees.
In your home?
In our home.
Unbelievable.
So each one has their own little theme, you know, like a Precious Moments. We've got a peppermint tree, a golf tree, there's a frog tree. And so we have several little trees.
First of all, I'm going to guess you must really enjoy doing that, right?
I do. My husband don't. All the
work. So do you actually take them down in the off season, or you just put them in a room somewhere and then bring them back?
Smaller, skinnier trees, like wire tile, the ornaments on it. My husband takes them up and sets them in the attic because we have a big room that's open.
I see.
But our big main tree, the golden burgundy, it's from the floor up. You got to take it up and down.
You have any idea how long it takes you to put all those trees together?
Yeah, it's about, if we was able to stay on it every day, probably about 2 weeks.
Unreal.
So it's a lot of work. I mean, we're exhausted by the time we're done, but then we enjoy it, and we get to share that with other people and let them see it. So it's fun.
So you already have those trees up now, is that correct?
Yeah, almost. I only got a couple more and I'll be done.
Okay.
Yeah, so getting ready.
And Mary Kay's home is one of
the homes on the tour. Yes, we have several homes on our tour this year. We also have St. Barnabas Episcopal Church is offering the church for us to come and see the decorations. We have Tony and Melva Kinkle's home is going to be one of our homes. Dave and Deborah.
That's the president of Montlaw? Is that the Tony Kinkle?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And Dave and Deborah, I hope I pronounce it correctly, Dusterhaus.
I think you did.
Okay. And, of course, Tim and Susan Campbell, Bob and Lisa Hayes, and then, of course, Tim and Mary Kay.
Oh, okay. And I know this is a fundraiser for your daycare.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Right. We have our tickets are on sale, and they're on sale at several locations here in Tullahoma. And then the board members and members of the daycare center have tickets. Mm-hmm. They're $20 each, and again, the money goes to help with things for our Tullahoma Daycare Center, and Emma can tell us more about that. Mm-hmm. Things that we do with the funding. But the tickets are available at the Tullahoma Daycare, the Flower Shop, at Southern Community Bank, at JP Designs, Creators, T. Michelle's, the Downtown Avenues, Coker's, and Clayton's. And we also have a silent auction, which we're excited about. We have several wonderful items that have been donated, and those are available to view at Trinity Lutheran Church in their activity center. And once the tour starts, you can go into the activity center and place a bid on the items. And I just want to give a shout out and a much thanks to Barrett Hodges, who's a local photographer.
Hedges, I think.
Hedges, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Who's a local photographer, and he's had photos in National Geographic. He's graciously donated one of his pieces of photography to be auctioned off.
That's pretty major because he's actually a pretty well-known
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we have half of the Jack Daniels barrel that can be decorated and adapted in your home. And then
hold on a second. Has it got Jack Daniels in it?
No. It's only a half a barrel. Half a barrel. It's not a full one. And then we have a beautiful wreath from the Flower Shop has been donated.
Okay.
Just some of the many items that we have.
I don't believe we said when is the Tour of Home.
It's December the 4th.
December the 4th, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And so it'd be a good time to start getting those tickets.
Yes,
do you really have to sell people on the idea of letting a lot of folks come walk through their home? Or does that...
I think...
Did they have to sell you, Mary Kay?
No, I guess because we love people coming to see our trees, you know. Because it's just me and my husband, and we don't have no children. So thought we do all this. You don't want to do it and nobody comes.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's
Right.
Absolutely. Real quick, you want to tell me a little bit about your daycare?
Yes, Emma.
Tullahoma Daycare is, we're over 40 years old. I've been the director for going on 4 years. We service children ages 2 to 5. We have a structured learning-based type program to get those that are in our pre-K ready for kindergarten when they go into public school. I offer them breakfast, lunch, and an afternoon snack. And our fees are only $80 a week. We're open from 6:30 to 5, Monday through Friday.
And you've been doing this for 40 years, so you probably know a thing or two about taking care
Well,
of
not
people.
quite 40 years, but I've been there for quite a long time.
All right. Okay. This is a really interesting thing, so folks, we really encourage you to get out there and take this tour. I may do it myself, to tell you the truth. I want to see the home of anybody that would put up 20 crates because I find that fascinating. Matter of fact, I may bring a camera because that would be a story in itself. Absolutely.
Right. That's great.
Okay.
We'll do that.
All right, folks, good luck with that project.
Well, thank you so much.
Great project. It sounds like fun. We'll be right back with more living, folks, right after this.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maid. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterware.
Yes, Roosterware is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterware specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterware.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and we're full of all kinds of great people who support our community, and we have with us today the chief. The other chief is here, Chief Richard Chastain.
I'm here.
And beautiful little Melissa Allen right here. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm doing great.
Yeah, she's the one. See, you've got her doing all that dirty work for you. Now she's the one making the phone calls. She's the one setting stuff up. Yeah, and is he pretty good at following orders?
He's great.
That's the only reason I'm here on time.
This is, I know last time you were here we were talking about the smoke alarm program, fire prevention and all that, and we're continuing that discussion now?
Yes.
Okay.
We still are giving out free smoke alarms. You just call me at 455-0936 and I can still help you with the paperwork. And that's all you have to do is fill out a form, and you can even come see me at the station, at Station 1, and I can just help you out, and then the guys will go and install them free in your home, and we can set up an appointment. We work around everybody's schedule, so we just try and be as lenient and just help everybody out.
There is no reason for somebody to burn to death in a home in Tullahoma for lack of a fire alarm, smoke alarm, battery, anything, when the Tullahoma Fire Department will come to your home for free, bring it at no cost, install it at no cost, and make sure that everything's working well.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
And I would imagine while you were there, if someone would contact you in advance and say, while they're there, could they walk around my house and just make sure I'm doing things okay? I imagine they could spend 10 or 15 minutes looking over someone's place and give them a few ideas if they're doing something wrong, right?
Absolutely. We do home fire safety inspections they have to ask us.
Right.
We don't
that's what I'm
go,
saying.
we don't
Set
go
that
do
up.
it, but that would be great. We also help them with their evacuation plan so they can have a meeting place in case there is an emergency. You get your smoke alarms. Okay, now what do we do if they go off? So we can help them establish that plan and practice it and get them extra safe.
There needs to be a brick by every window in the house. That's my evacuation plan.
Well, one of the things we look at are the windows painted shut, or will they open? And that's something you need to be thinking about. Don't wait till there's a fire.
That's why there's a brick there.
I understand, but you kind of get cut sometimes when you go out, and the cut may be worse than the fire. So we like to have a plan in place ahead.
I understand.
Second floor, you need a ladder, you need a rope ladder. You need some plans.
Something.
We'll be glad to help you with any of that.
Right. Mm-hmm. And is it about time for the Toys for Tots program to be taking place? It's taking place right now, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, we are collecting a few things right now. We'll really hit the ground running December 1st.
Okay.
But we've only got about 18 days to collect money and toys because we have to fill the boxes and have them ready to go on the 23rd. So we can certainly accept cash donations now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I just sort of brought that up because if people want to get to you early, they can drop that stuff off, and you will certainly take their donation.
Yes,
today,
and
any day.
We're actively looking for a building to distribute those from.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone has about 2,000 square feet that we could utilize to assemble everything and get it handed out, we'll be out of your building by the 24th. We'd like to be in there about the 10th of December.
Okay.
So if anybody's got a couple of thousand square feet we could utilize, we'd appreciate that. We're also doing this year between ages 1 and 14. We expect to have about 600 children.
That's great.
And that's just in the Tullahoma City area.
That's great.
Coffee County Sheriff's Department does the county residents, and we do the city. And we work together with them as well as a lot of other charities to make sure we don't double up on anybody, but we also make sure we don't miss anybody.
Right.
So it's a great program. It's a citywide program. There's several people that help. And we're just proud to be the distributor. And we work with under the 501c3 of the Marine Corps, Toys for Tots. So we kind of take Tullahoma where the Marine Corps doesn't have to worry about Tullahoma. We cover it for them.
Okay. And how many years, I can't think of when the Tullahoma Fire Department didn't do Toys for Tots.
Well, I know Clayton Farrer was a chief back in the early 70s, and he was doing it because we have pictures on the wall.
Right.
And, of course, CB took over in 74 and did it his 37 years of being the chief, 34 years of being the chief, and then I've continued it with all the firefighters working, so well over 40 years.
Right, that's great. What a good thing.
Yeah.
What a good thing.
That's a great program.
And so anything else? Any other activities on the horizon? Is Fire Pup going to go to any type of a training class to learn how to bird hunt or anything like that?
He stays busy. Of course, we're excited about the Christmas parade coming up on December the 2nd. We'll have a full line of people there.
Oh, yeah.
Fire engines, Pup will be there. The Pluggy will be there. We'll be giving out candy. Pluggy will be there.
I love that.
We also are under a no burn in Tullahoma right now due to the dry conditions. We got to have some substantial rain before we're going to let people burn again. Some friends of mine are fighting a fire right now in Chattanooga, Hamilton County, on Signal Mountain, a huge fire. So we're asking everybody to please be cautious. Don't throw cigarettes out the window. Don't start any leaf fires or anything right now because everything is just in bad shape burn-wise.
All right, let me ask a question then. What about your person in the neighborhood who has a fire pit in their backyard?
If they have a fire pit and they call us, we can give them a permit for a fire pit, but we have to come look at it and make sure they've got a water source that's right there readily available and they've got any vegetation cleaned out around it at least 36 inches. That gives them some kind of security. We really can't keep somebody from doing that, especially if they say they're cooking food.
Right.
Because that, nationally you can cook your own food on an open fire. But as far as leaf piles, brush piles, land clearing, all that is banned till further notice.
So if a person has a fire pit in their backyard, they're not going to call the fire department every time they want to go out in the backyard and start a fire at their fire pit. You're telling them make sure it's clean around it, make sure you've got a water source out there, and and if all else fails, have a hot dog on a stick.
And I encourage them to call us because the reason, you know your fire pit, but your neighbor on the other street looks out his back window and sees fire in your house, and they'll call 911. Then we have a full array of trucks coming, risking our lives and the people on the road. Where if we knew, oh no, that's just John, he's got his fire pit, he called us a while ago, we'll send one vehicle to check it and make sure, but we don't send everybody. So it's kind of a good thing to go ahead and call. There's no fee. You know, we're not going to charge you anything. But if the wind's over 10 miles an hour, we're probably going to say, you really sure you want to do this? Because as you know, if you have a fire pit and it burns your neighbor's house down, guess who's responsible? John Gray. So any fire you set, if it gets out of hand, it's an arson fire. You set it and it got out of hand and hurt somebody or burnt property, and you're responsible. So we're just trying to keep anyone from getting hurt.
I'm glad I asked that question. Did you folks learn something? I did. All right. Thank y'all for coming. It looks like it's time for us to go.
All right.
On to the next deal.
All right.
You know you're always welcome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for your service and what you do.
You're welcome. We'll be waving at you on Friday night in the parade. We hope it's about 70 degrees.
You're going to have that queen wave going up there?
I will. I'm going to be in the parade. I'm going to bring my daughter.
Good for you. Good for you. You need to get Stan up there to yodel one while you're going down the road.
I will. I'll have him out there.
Okay. We'll be right back in a minute, folks.
Thank you.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is the Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is the Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
A world without breast cancer is a world with more birthdays. And signing up for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk will help us get there faster. The American Cancer Society invests in groundbreaking breast cancer research, and we're part of every community. In fact, 1 in 2 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer turns to us for support. Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org. Together, we can finish the fight against breast cancer.
All right, we're back, and I'm happy. I'm a happy guy right now. We've had a great show so far today, but this right here is topping it all off for me. My friend, superstar, I think she is. I've always thought she was. Becky Buller is in the studio with us today, and it just look at that. How can you not smile?
Good morning.
When you look at that right there. And she's got hardware on the table here. We're going to let her explain the International Bluegrass Convention and Award Show. Took place, about 3 weeks ago?
Just over a month ago in Raleigh, North Carolina on September 29th. The 27th Annual IBMA Awards. That's the International Bluegrass Music Association. And they gave me Fiddle Player of the Year and Female Vocalist.
Look at there. Female Vocalist of the Year and Fiddle Player of the Year. Now, I want you to realize, folks, how groundbreaking this is. This is the first and only woman female, red curly-headed gal to take those old fiddle-playing men and sort of brush them to the side and say, "This is mine." Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's also the first time that anybody's gotten an instrumental and a vocalist award, so it's all pretty
Becky
huge.
Buller.
I haven't known what to do with my face for the last month. I've been walking around
Just
in a
smile.
daze.
All you got to do is just smile, sweetheart. I'm just so proud of
Thank
you,
you.
because Becky's been coming by and seeing us for years now, and we've had an opportunity to watch her grow in many ways, and how she's flourished in the music that she loves and creates is just wonderful.
Thank you.
I know you've got to be proud. And is Romy happy for you?
I think so. She liked that dress I was wearing, that white dress there. Yeah, she calls it the calla lily dress.
All right, Romy is 3.
You can't really see the bottom of it, but it kind of looks like an upside down calla lily.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
look at that.
Yeah, we got to play on the award show too. That was during the in memoriam part, where they show pictures of everybody that we lost in the bluegrass community over the years. So that was really an honor. We played Far Side Banks of Jordan, that old Johnny Cash tune, just an instrumental version of that. And it was fun. It was a big night, big week out there in Raleigh.
So, and since then, as I've been keeping up with you're covering territory, babe. You're somewhere one week and somewhere the next week, and traveling and going on, and just active and fun and full of energy. And what are you going to do something around here anytime soon?
I am on Sunday, November 13th.
That's quick enough.
Yes, this coming Sunday, I will be at Cumberland Presbyterian Church. I'll be sitting in with the Bethel University Renaissance Bluegrass Band, and of course Bethel University is up in McKenzie, Tennessee, and they have an incredible music program. My producer, Stephen Mogen, is these folks' professor. He's professor of bluegrass at Bethel University.
What a cool job.
So yeah, I'm going to sit in with them for a few songs. That's at Cumberland Presbyterian Church on the 55 Highway in Manchester, Tennessee. It's a free show, and they will be taking up a free will offering to help the kids with their travel expenses. But other than that, it's a free show. Probably do about 90 minutes of music there at 2 o'clock on Sunday.
And your producer also produces Sam Bush, right?
He works with Sam Bush. He plays guitar with Sam.
Okay.
Helps produce vocals for Sam's records. They have a new record out that's really great, the Sam Bush Band. If folks are into bluegrass music, they need to check that out. It's a really good album.
Well, yeah, Sam is he's iconic in what he does.
He is the rock god of the mandolin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. he is the founder of Newgrass.
Right, right, and just so exciting. And then what else do you have coming after that?
On November 19th, my band, the Becky Buller Band, is going to be at the Country Music Hall of Fame. And that's in the afternoon, about 4 o'clock or so on the 19th. And then that night at 9 o'clock, we'll be at the Station Inn. You can see that poster right now. And we're actually working on. I'm going to have some T-shirts.
That is the coolest thing in the world, right there.
I've got some T-shirts coming with that design on it. So just keep a lookout on my website, BeckyBuller.com, and there you can see how to spell Buller. It's just like it sounds. B as in boy, U-L-L-E-R. And working on getting some merch, some swag.
Merch and swag and all that stuff.
That's the next step.
Got to make a buck. Got to buy a bus.
Yeah.
Got to buy a bus where you can take Romy with you. 3 years old. Romy's 3 years old. Going on, I don't know, 9.
Yeah, 30. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeff doing okay?
He's good. Good. Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
He's been playing in the Ultimate Oldies shows.
Oh, yeah.
Over there in Manchester with Jamie Harden and that crew. He's been having a big time doing that.
Do you have a new single coming out right now?
We have a single that's out, and it's a special deal. We recorded this song, Phoenix Arise, expressly to help the people of Madelia, Minnesota, in my home county, Watonwan County, Minnesota. And back on February 3rd, there was a fire that destroyed most of the downtown of Madelia. And they've begun the rebuilding process, but and insurance is going to cover a lot of it, but there's still a need.
Yeah.
There's still a gap in the funding that's not covered by insurance. So we put out this single, and it's available on the Madelia Strong website, just medeliastrong.com. You're going to see how to spell that in just a minute. But the single is available for a download of any amount, only at that website, from now until my new record comes out in the spring.
Okay, and so do we have a copy of that? We're getting ready to play.
Yeah, we're going to show you.
We're
We're going to show you video. It's got some footage about what happened in Madelia and how you can give and help those folks.
Wonderful. All right, let's go to that.
Hey everybody, Becky Buller here to tell you about a special project that the band and I, along with Dark Shadow Recording, are part of.
Phoenix arising from the flame.
On February 3rd, I was preparing for a concert in my hometown when news broke that a massive fire had destroyed the downtown of nearby Madelia, Minnesota. Though several area fire departments responded, they were hampered by the worst winter storm of the season and unable to contain the blaze before 8 businesses and 9 buildings were destroyed. Estimated losses total $1.4 million, and to date only $475,000 has been raised. Madelia is in my home county, Watonwan County, Minnesota, and it's also where my dad works, and so I had to do something to help in the relief effort. The song Phoenix Arise, written by Mark Simos and Lisa Ashman, immediately came to mind. For a limited time, our recording of Phoenix Arise is available as a download only at medeliastrong.com. Every penny of the money that you donate in purchasing this track goes toward helping these families rebuild and regain their livelihoods. Special thanks to Mark Simos and Lisa Ashman for allowing us to record their beautiful song, and to Stephen, Yana, and Sammy Mojan at Dark Shadow Recording for donating their time to get this out. And thank you for helping Madelia, Minnesota rise from the ashes.
Phoenix arise. Phoenix arise. Phoenix
Okay, Becky, explain to me one thing. Dark Shadow.
Dark Shadow Recording. That's the label that I record for.
And is that your label or is that someone else's?
Stephen Mojan.
All right, so that's Stephen's label.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And if someone wants to find out about all of your albums and has he done everything that you've done?
Not everything. I'm working on my second record for his label.
Okay.
And then I've done a couple. Let's see. How many albums? This will be my 4th solo album. I've done 2 other albums before I joined his label.
Okay.
I did. I can't talk today. I did 2 other albums with other labels.
But if somebody goes to BeckyBuller.com, they can find out all of that information.
Yeah, it's all there. Yeah, and we're on iTunes and all that stuff too.
What does that say? Fiddle player. There's no way that I would ever be able to win that. Female Vocalist of the Year. Well, let's see. Let me put
that one.
I'm going to put my finger over the first 2 letters. Thank you very much for this great award.
Speech.
I want to thank my family and my friends and all the fans out there. Thank you so much. Smells good too.
Lovely. Do you have any wet wipes there in the office?
Yeah, I'll clean it up.
Okay, thanks.
I'll clean it up.
Maybe some Windex.
Yeah. Are you going to play a little something before we finish this up?
I think that would probably be a good idea. Yeah, let me do something. Let's see. Here's a tune called Little Pine Siskin.
My friend Becky Butler.
Did you want me to end out on a little bit more?
Huh?
A little bit more?
Well, I think we've got 25
Oh, I'll be quick.
seconds to go.